Hey guys, what's going on? This is your old pal CHH, and I just got out of the theater of seeing Bring Her Back. Now, you guys know how I roll. I don't watch trailers whatsoever, so going into this movie, I didn't know crap from Crisco, and I gotta implore you to start doing that if you haven't. I'm just saying, I really love not watching trailers anymore. And I'm gonna say that this review is gonna be spoiler-free, number one, because it is a brand new film, and number two, I don't really need to get into the finale of the film or really go into what happens at the end because, well, that would spoil the whole damn thing, and it's not necessary for me to do, so you're safe to watch this. I usually like to give my opinion right out in the open in the beginning, and I'm gonna say, I am just not sure how to feel about this movie. I'm really not. And here's the thing, I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing because it's stewing in my brain. I keep thinking about it. The plot of this movie's pretty interesting. So, this boy and his sister who's blind, their father passes away in the shower, and it's a horrific scene. The visuals of the scene was pretty startling, very A24-ish. What does that mean? It's a little bit more gruesome than your non-A24 type of horror film. The way they approach, like, gore is really almost hyper-realistic and just hard to look at. And I mean, it's the horror genre, so I'm not saying I'm not in for that. I mean, I want to feel an experience when I see a movie, so I always give credit to stuff like that. I know it's not for everybody, but yeah, that scene was pretty brutal. That sets up the movie. What ends up happening is these two kids go and stay with this foster mom. Now, she seems okay at first. There's this other kid that's there that's kind of quirky and weird. Kid walks around, doesn't really wear a shirt, doesn't say much, likes to walk around the pool in the backyard. He's just kind of off. Who's to say what's wrong with him, right? Well, this is where the movie progresses. Things obviously start to get weird with this foster mom. You're not really sure what the hell her whole deal is. She starts doing really bizarre things with the kids. And before you know it, all hell starts breaking loose. And then the story progresses from there, and then you have the rest of your movie. Now, here's the thing. This movie had a pretty good story, I think. And honestly, I understand it. But if I try to explain it, like the inner workings of the horror elements of this, I can't help but just feel a little confused. Something about this movie is just a little confusing to me. Obviously, this is going to be more of a supernatural type horror film, but trying to explain everything that you see on screen is not that simple to me. I mean, maybe it is for other people, but and I'm not going to knock it for that because obviously there's some really cool things to think about when you're watching the movie, scenes that happen, you're like, what exactly is going on? Why did that happen? You know, some of that stuff could be left up for interpretation, and maybe it's something I'll understand later on if I revisit the film. The whole time I was watching it, I hate to compare it to Talk to Me, but I think that movie was made by the same people. But there's something that Talk to Me did that this movie didn't do. Talk to Me really had me at the edge of my seat feeling like this palpable sensation of just like anxiety. I was kind of like leaning forward in my seat the whole time watching it. The thing about this movie is everything is interesting enough, but I just never felt worried watching the film. I mean, I wasn't on my phone or anything. I was sitting in the theater watching it, and I was interested in what was going on, but at the same time, nothing ever truly got to me. Nothing really made me feel uneasy. Nothing really made me feel stressed out. And it's hard to not knock against the film having those feelings. I mean, I expect a lot from these kinds of movies, and I'm not saying it's not going to deliver for other people, but for me, I don't even know if this is something I'm going to honestly want to rewatch. I mean, the one thing I'll say about this movie is their visual scenes in here are pretty intense, and there's some really almost beautiful, horrific gore sequences that it's not so much gore for gore's sake, but it's to kind of evoke this kind of emotion from the audience, I feel. And I think it succeeds there. The woman that plays the foster mom, I thought she was creepy and did a good job, but I just wish she was creepier. I wish everything about this movie just had some extra kick to it. I don't know how to really explain it other than that. It's just a movie that I don't know if I'm going to want to honestly rewatch again. But at the same time, when I was leaving the theater with this movie, I said to myself, did I like that or did I not like that? I can't really answer it yet. I don't know. I'm gonna have to force myself to rewatch it to really know. But it's one of those movies that I just can't make heads or tail out of yet. It's just, I didn't have a palpable reaction one way or the other. The only thing I can say is I was thinking about the movie the whole way home. The ending was cool visually, but I don't know, the whole time I was just left feeling like I wanted something more intense. Not necessarily visual, but just something that made me feel something more. I just feel like this film worked, but it was missing that X factor. Sometimes you can have a movie that on paper, the casting's right, everything's right, everybody's doing a great job, the story works, and you put it together, and maybe it's just missing that magic factor, whatever that is. This movie just kind of feels like it's missing that to me. I don't know how else to put it. It's hard to kind of get into this without spoiling much, but it's definitely a movie I recommend everybody go see. And I did think it was a great movie to see in the theater, especially with some of the visual aspects. And I guess now with like A24, some of the visual stuff, it's like they've really got to compete with themselves to try to, affect the audience in some certain ways because I have seen some A24 films where visually I'm just stunned at what I see. This one never really did anything over what I've seen previously in other A24 films. So I don't know. I think it's going to find an audience and have an audience, quite frankly, but I don't know. My gut says that this is not going to be a movie I end up loving or possibly even liking down the road. But right now, I just can't make heads or tails of it. I mean, sometimes with reviews, I feel like I gotta just pick a lane, but I can't do it this time. I'm just somewhere in the middle. I have to process this film some more and force myself to probably rewatch it to have a better understanding of how I feel about it. So maybe in a year I'll get the Blu-ray or 4K whenever it comes out and just get it or stream it and come back and circle around on this movie. So I don't know, maybe the audience watching this video is more intrigued to see a movie that I can't make heads or tails out of as opposed to just being super hot or super cold on it. But I will say definitely see it. I don't regret it whatsoever, and I'll probably think about it a little bit more, just trying to figure out, do I like it or do I not like it? It's actually kind of fun because some movies I have a straight ahead feeling that I liked it or don't like it. This one, I don't. I just don't. If you ask me what's wrong with it, I can't really say. If you ask me what works about it, I can kind of say, but I feel like I'm just saying things that I think are somewhat objectively good visually and things like that. So, what an interesting movie. I don't know, guys. You let me know when you see the movie and tell me what you think. Who knows? Who knows how I'm going to feel about this film in a year? Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Huge giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind the scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.